Ma'am, we cannot hear your voice.
Am I able to hear you? Just tell me.
We can hear you now. We can hear you now.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah. So actually, I'll just start with the topic today. Actually, we are with the second semester Indian Society, Indian Social Structure. Okay. So here this paper has many topics here. What are the topics today? Because it's an introduction class. Let me talk about the syllabus content. Okay. So in the first unit, we try to discuss about the traditional Hindu social organization, where we are going to talk about the Hindu social organization, the importance of the Vedic period, the Vedas, and then the Purusharthas, and we have the Ashrama Vyavastha or the Ashrama system. So this actually the Purusharthas and the Ashrama system has an immense importance in the Hindu social organization. Actually, we try to talk about the simultaneous practice of the Purusharthas and the Ashrama system. So when you talk about the Purusharthas, it is nothing but the 4 ideals to be practiced by an Hindu individual, the Hindu person. So what are these 4 ideals? The 4 ideals are the Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Okay, I repeat, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha are the 4 ideals where we try to phrase it as the Purusharthas. On the other side, we have the Ashrama system. Ashrama system is nothing but the 4 stages of a life of an individual, the Hindu individual. The 4 stages actually can be traced as the student life, where we try to connect it to the brahmacharya. Then we try to talk about the marital life, where the second stage, it is the grihasthashram, and then the 4th stage and the 5th stage are where the individual try to leave the family, the sannyasa, and the vanaprastha ashram. Okay. So these are the ashram system, ashrama vyavastha we have, and on the other side we have the Purushartha. So the importance we are going to discuss, and what actually the individual has to do with these things we are going to discuss in the syllabi content. Then we have in the same unit the entry of the emergence of the Buddhism and the Jainism here. Okay, the Islam community, the Islam entry or the Buddhism entry into the Indian, Buddhism origin in the Indian society, that we are going to discuss in the same unit. Then in the 3rd unit, the 3rd subpoint here is the cultural assimilation, which is very, very important from the examination point of view, where we are going to discuss unity in diversity. India is a representation of the cultural unity, okay, the cultural diversity and the cultural assimilation, where we try to trace divergent cultures, divergent subcultures we have, divergent groups of religious communities we have, divergent, what is called the linguistic people we have. Okay, so we have people speaking different many languages, people we have with different race communities and also the caste communities and the class people. Okay, so how there is the cultural assimilation and the importance of the cultural assimilation, how it is possible for the Indian people to bring cultural unity. Okay, the unity in diversity we usually phrase. Okay, so this we are going to discuss in the syllabi content. Okay, then we have on the second unit certain perspectives in order to understand the Indian society. So for example, we try to trace the ideological perspective, we try to take up the conflictive perspective, okay, and the other structural functional perspective, so in order to understand the Indian society, how these are going to give us the viewpoint of understanding this in Indian society. This we are going to study. The third unit, we have social structure, where Indian society is identified with the tribal communities, the tribal structures we have the agrarian structure, and at the same time, we have, so this we are going to discuss in the paper. We have the family, Indian family, we all know it represents the patriarchal system, whereby in the Indian system also we have the matriarchal representation of the family system for the tribal communities. Most of the tribal communities practice the matriarchal system. So, but overall, we try to trace only the patriarchal system for the Indian society. So, what are the features of the family, the characteristics of the family? Say, for example, family is universal in the whole world community. So, wherever we go, we try to trace the family system. So, what type of family we have in the Indian society? And of course, we usually try to trace the joint family structure in the Indian society, but traditional period, you talks about the joint family, but still we are not in the joint family. We have been transforming to a new structure where we try to say that it is a simple family, the nuclear family structure, and we are moving towards more what is called the refined type of family structure where we try to trace in the urban communities, single family structures we have find. So it's what usually in very depth, we try to talk about the structure of the family structure, changing aspect of the family system and characteristics of the family. And also we are going to talk about the functions of the family. This family is considered as the basic unit of the whole social system. So family occupies a nuclear position in the whole social system. So why it is occupying the nuclear position? What are the functionalities of the family? For example, if we take the family system, family is the base for the whole society. So why we say it as a base? It is a basic unit usually. Why? Because it is the family which gives importance to the progeny. It is the family where it gives the legality to the birth of the child. Okay, and not only this, the what is called the socialization function, the enculturation of the person. That the newborn baby is going to get the training of the good, bad, the do's, don'ts, everything. So all this base. The personality development can be taking place only in the family. So it is the mother and the other members of the family which usually takes up the functions or which gives the training to the child about the do's, don'ts, or the good and the bad. So this makeup of child becoming a social or the social human being. Okay, so this importance of the functions of the family we are going to discuss in the topic. We also have marriage as a next unit, the second institution. So all these institutions we are going to discuss, and basically these two, family, marriage, and the kinship system, because one is presupposes the other existence. If we really experience with the family institution, that means it is presupposing the existence of the marriage also, and it presupposes the existence of the kinship system. So these three are interconnected, we are going to discuss. When we talk about marriage, there are very strict rules and regulations for the marriage. As an institution, it provides certain rules and regulations. Say, for example, we have endogamy. So India is represented with a caste hierarchical system. We try to go with the endogamy. That is a person belonging to one particular caste has to select the mating partner only from the same caste and also from the same subcaste. So why this endogamy system in the Indian society? What do we exactly understand by the endogamy system? And moreover, we also have certain other roots of the marriage. So what are they? We are going to discuss. Not only this, but at the same time, when we talk about the Hindu social organization, marriage is considered as a sacrament. So what do we understand by sacrament? Why there is sacrament of marriage in the Hindu social organization? If we take the same Islam community, in Islam, we try to trace as marriage as a contract. So what is the purpose of the contract there and what is the sacrament purpose here in the Hindu social organization we are going to discuss here. So the three communities, marital institution, rules, regulations and the functions of the marriage we are going to discuss in the syllabus. Also we have kinship. What do we understand by kinship? What is the meaning of kinship? Kinship is in very simple terms, it is the blood relationship. That is a person having a blood bond with the other second person. Okay. So if we talk about the kinship of person, and every individual have a tracing of the kinship here, either the parents or his own siblings and the offsprings here. Okay. So why there is importance of the kinship, not only the bond and the emotional attachment with the second person or his own kin member, but other than that, we have certain functions of the kinship also. So what there are different degrees of kinship, different types of kinship. Say, for example, there are the first kin members, second kin members, third kin member. One first kin member, what is the importance of the first degree? What is the importance of the second member and the second degree? Likewise, the third degree and the third member. Okay, so this we are going to trace in the kinship and also certain determinants of kinship are there. What are they? We are going to discuss. Fine. Then we have the religious composition. As I said now, India is the with cultural assimilation where we try to trace divergent communities, diverse religious groups. We are nearly about more than 6 communities we have. Say Hinduism, we have Islam, Christianity and Buddhism, Zoroastrianism, Jainism. So likewise, Sikhism, all these communities exist in the Indian society. They take up their own survival in the Indian society. Fine. So all the religious communities we are going to discuss, the features of the religious communities we are going to discuss. Of course, there is the religious communities existing, different divergent religious communities. But otherwise, when you talk about the existence of these religious communities, we also sometimes try to trace certain communal riots in the Indian society, the communalism feeling for the people here in the Indian society. Say, I feel pride of my own community and the other person for his own community. Likewise, certain communal rights are of course taking place in the Indian society. But then still, we do say that India represents the unity of the all diversity, diverse nature of all these communities. Okay. So that we are going to discuss. And the most important topic in the paper is the social change in Indian society, where we are going to trace the caste system, which is very, very, very peculiar feature of the Indian society, where we say that India represents the caste. Caste basis for the Indian society and caste hierarchical placement of the individuals takes place. What is this caste actually? We have what is called a simple definition of the caste of C.H. Phule. When you take this definition here, it says that when class of a person becomes what is called hereditary. I repeat once again, according to C.H. Phule, when class identity or the class status of a person becomes hereditary, fine, then that hereditary group can be traced or called as the caste group. That means class is never an hereditary. Class is depending on the individual's income and the achievement pattern. Okay. But if this class status becomes hereditary, if at all, if the class becomes hereditary, that means the income, the status, the social ranking becomes hereditary, then that hereditary status can be called as a class. That means class itself is showing hereditary aspect, and it is where the individual gets from his own people, that is his own forefathers and the other elderly persons of his own family. That means when you're born in a particular family, automatically the individual is not doing anything here. Automatically the individual is being identifying, gets the caste status of his family. This is hereditary aspect of the caste. Other than this, we have many peculiar features of the caste. For example, if you take caste have certain taboos, caste have certain placement of the people from hereditary placement, that is hierarchical placement. Hierarchical placement says that one is above the other and one is below the other. Okay. So what is this above and the below aspect of the hierarchical status? We are going to discuss in the caste characteristics. Other than this, when you say there are certain taboos, what do we understand by taboos? Restrictions on the movement of the person, restrictions on the food item of the person, restriction on certain professional identities here. So what are all these taboos? All these we are going to discuss in the characteristics of the caste system. Then when you talk about the traditional caste system, this is what the traditional caste system. But when we say that India is transforming, India is now in the global era, we are taking most of the features of the global system, isn't it? So when you talk about the global system, what type of transformation we are in, what is the status of the caste, how caste is changing, what is the identity today an individual takes up, is it whether still the caste or anything else? So if so, anything else, if it is something else, what is that something else? That we are going to discuss, and what are the features or the factors which are really impacting the change in the, bringing the changes in the caste system that we are going to discuss. Then we have vision of change. Yes, of course, India has taken the vision of change. What type of change we are taking? What is the vision? Our vision is development. Yes, India, when we took the administration from the British people, we were underdeveloped community, okay, underdeveloped state. So from that underdevelopment, now we are in the status of developed status. So still moving, not yet reached to the target of development, but still we are developing. Okay. So when we say developing, we have fixed up the target of development. Okay. When we started our first 5-year plan, and when we started with the pillars of the 5-year plan, we have taken development as one of the pillars. The target we have fixed is development. Okay. So for that development target, we are formulating different many policies. We are formulating different many programs. All the 5-year programs are only to reach the development aspect. So from this, we are going to take up the vision of social change. What is the vision we have taken and how we are moving towards this vision that we are going to discuss in the paper. Then we try to talk about planning in mixed economy. Yes, I just now said that we have a commission in order to take up the planning system and all. So why plans actually? See, whenever we want to throw a function in our family system, we try to plan. That is nothing but putting all the things in an order. Planning is nothing but putting all the things in an order, a systematic functioning. Okay, fine. I've just started the syllabus. Okay, tomorrow also we have class. Let me discuss briefly the important topics. Okay, fine. Let me finish off this topic here. So we have the planning commission, which is going to formulate the plans for the proper functioning of the whole system in an ordered manner. We are going to discuss all these things here. Okay. Then we try to talk about green revolution in Indian society, education institution, industrialization, and urbanization. And of course, after all these things, we have certain challenges. So yes, our government is facing all the challenges of development, displacement of the communities in order to bring development. So this is a big challenge presently in the Indian society for the central government as well as the state government. So how the challenge has been met, how it has been addressed, thus we are going to discuss. Okay. So for today, thank you. Let me start the topics tomorrow, but brief topics I'm going to take up and try to pick up only the important topics, and then we'll discuss the important topics in depth. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you.